But if they were to fight, I'll be rooting on Floyd Mayweather, man. I can't.
I'm not the disrespectful type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm the type of guy. The reason I'm not disrespectful is because when I say something, I'm ready to die for it. So if I say this, I'm willing to die for this. You understand me?
You stand on it.
I stand on it. Yeah. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he...
Roy Jones's challenge may have finally been accepted by Floyd Mayweather, but only if Jones accepts the conditions Mayweather has established since his retirement. No official fights, no threat to his 50-fight record, and no departure from the exhibition style that has preserved his unbeaten record. Roy Jones Jr. recently responded directly to Floyd with a straightforward and well-publicized challenge. There isn't going to be any exhibition, Jones said in an interview. I'd like it to be genuine. Being an exhibition is pointless. For what purpose will we play? Both of us are engaged in actual combat. For what purpose are we playing? People are supposed to play at exhibitions.
If you like this, please subscribe Punch Vista and click the bell icon for more latest and interesting videos.
So, that being said, you're disrespecting the greatest fighter of all time. And if you disrespect him, you disrespect anybody. So you have no respect. But when you see me, you're going to have some respect. Because if you want to get it, we can get it. I'm willing to go earn my respect.
We're not having fun. In any case, I'm not. Any battle between him and Mayweather, he has made clear, must be a real professional fight that is approved, scored, and entered into their official records. There is no negotiating this condition. Jones reiterated this statement in a different section of the same chat, adding, "Come on if you want to fight. I'm not tripping, really. We both engage in genuine combat. No one is bothered by me. I am free to hold my own views. I'm willing to argue with you about anything I say, whether it's inside or outside of the ring, if you must have an issue with my viewpoint." This demand from Jones calls into question the fundamental tenets of Mayweather's business model after his 2017 retirement.
I got opinions, and I'm allowed to say my opinions or speak my opinions. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked. Because if you want to prove that you're better than me, I'm always ready. Wide open, ready to go.
Mayweather has only fought in exhibition bouts since defeating Conor McGregor and earning a spotless professional record. These are well-run, unofficial fights that don't jeopardize his salary, reputation, or record. Mayweather has made it clear time and time again that he is now an entertainer rather than a real boxer.
Do you respect the Floyd 50-0, or is it like...
You got to respect anything a person does and stay undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop.
Jones is pressuring Mayweather to either return to legitimate competition or withdraw from the challenge entirely by requesting a sanctioned fight.
You were the instigator, but you just asked him, you were the reporter. You just said, like, the critics are talking about it, you just started something. So, no, but it's good for boxing, so we can have that conversation.
Me and Roy having a conversation, man.
Everybody's loving it, though. They're loving the thing. What do you think about this the whole scenario?
Them going back and forth?
Yeah.
They're just fighters, man.
You think they should get it on? You think Floyd can get his weight up and they should get it on?
I don't think they're going to do that.
Who is better?
In response, the boxing community has expressed a variety of viewpoints. In a recent video interview, Radio Raheem asked veteran boxer Bernard Hopkins to predict the outcome of a fictitious bout between Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. In response, Hopkins said, "It all depends on who throws more punches." Hopkins responded thoughtfully when Raheem brought up the video of Jones's knockout losses that Mayweather had posted. When Roy was fighting, I think, either Glenn Johnson or Antonio Tarver, it was more of a display of a man's weakness. Hopkins went on to consider the characteristics of combat sports and the propensity for individuals to make fun of fighters when they're feeling low. When a man went down on his citier was taken out by a blow,
And Roy, Floyd is making fun of him that he got knocked out and all this stuff. What do you think about that situation? Who is the better fighter in their prime?
Look, in their prime, I mean, I got to give it up to both guys, but I mean, look, we're retired, man. Let's keep this fighting thing for the young bucks, you know.
But you fought Floyd, you fought him, so you know firsthand, you know his talent. Sure. But Roy in his prime, when he was like Superman, before the knockouts, before everything,
he was a beast. He was a beast.
I was a criminal who put him down. Hopkins made it apparent that he respects his previous opponent, Roy Jones Jr. Even if he lost to him 1993, he praised Jones's approach and achievements, stating, "If you look at Roy Jones's defeats and you look at his longevity of victory, and very unorthodox, unusual, probably never before seen style that he had, I think that the good of him in his era will always stand and now overshadow anything that the opposite means defeat. Roy Jones's accolades and triumphs far outweighed his setbacks." In an interview with Fight Hub TV,
not because he did a great job, but he did it for himself and it worked for him. But everybody now wants the Mayweather concept because Mayweather made so much money, staying undefeated, waiting till the right time to fight Pacquiao, finding the right people to fight at the right time. He monopolized the business. But the problem was, it only made him money and the people he was fighting. It didn't make money for the whole sport. So what he did himself a great job, but it hurt the sport. Because now everybody wants to fight, stay undefeated.
Oscar de la Hoya adopted a more psychological perspective on the conflict. De la Hoya denied any personal role in the conflict between Mayweather and Jones when questioned about it. "No, I get along well with him," he said. "I have no business," alluding to Mayweather. He hypothesized that the mental difficulties of life after boxing might be the root of the feud. Since we witness so many young children arguing, emotions can occasionally get in the way. De La Hoya admitted that Jones had a reputation for being vocal. According to De La Hoya, he speaks the truth, but he also acknowledged Mayweather's resolve to protect his reputation. Floyd will fight to the very end because he is Floyd. During her own media appearances,
you look at Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s whole career, you see a perfect career, incredible fights, no losses. But what you won't see is any time in his career where he was as good and as dominant at his peak as Roy Jones Jr. was. Roy Jones Jr. was one of the best fighters, pound for pound, #1 fighter in the sport of boxing for over a decade, and he deserves respect for that. Now, specifically about what Floyd Mayweather Jr. had to say,
Clarissa Shields also shared her opinion. Fight Hub TV questioned Shields about the internet back and forth between Mayweather and Jones as she was getting ready to defend her undisputed middleweight championships against Lonnie Daniels. "Beef is beef, man," was her reply. "Smoke is smoke. Man, people don't like one another. I'm not sure why everyone seems so surprised." She continued by outlining the characteristics of ego in combat sports. "I don't like some folks. Beef is beef. Everybody has an ego." Floyd shared a tale on social media showing Roy Jones being knocked out, and now there is a beef. Shields was asked without hesitation what should happen next. When she said, "Hey, the best way to handle beef is to fight," she laughed. "I feel the same way about all of my beefs. Just let them fight, goddamn. Let's just fight. I'd like to fight someone." Antonio Tarver, the former world champion who famously dealt Roy Jones Jr. his first professional defeat, had something to say. Tarver's awareness of both fighters' legacies and his own experience with Jones influenced his viewpoint. "It's competitive when you look back on their careers," Tarver told Seconds Out. "Floyd is unbeaten, in my opinion, and I adore him. He did things his way. However, I don't believe he was considered invincible at any point throughout his career." In reference to his fights with Jones, Tarver continued, "Roy Jones, he was unbeatable until he met me." Tarver's remarks highlight the notion that Jones was once seen to be an unstoppable force, something Mayweather, despite his perfect record, never fully embodied.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much.
When Manny Pacquiao appeared on Fight Hub TV, he also contributed to the discussion. Pacquiao expressed appreciation for Jones's skill level when he was questioned about the fictitious Mayweather versus Jones battle. You're familiar with Roy Jones? Roy Jones is Roy Jones, and man, in his prime, strong and quick footwork. Pacquiao said without hesitation, "I think so," in response to the question of whether Jones could defeat Mayweather. Given Pacquiao's personal history with Mayweather, his remark fueled an already heated argument. It has become evident from these interviews that Roy Jones has a preference. It is necessary. He is opposed to performing in an exhibition.
Roy Jones.
Roy Jones, Roy Jones. You know Roy Jones, right?
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you very
Did we get a shout out for Team Locked In? You agree with me, Roy Jones? Roy Jones is in his prime. Man, like, fast, footwork, strong.
He wants a legitimate, sanctioned bout that is held to the standards of professional competition and scored according to official scorecards that are entered into the books. Mayweather has not yet accepted these conditions. All of his post-retirement activities have stayed in the exhibition space, despite the fact that he has openly made fun of Jones and implied,
You mentioned Floyd, where would you put him in the rankings? Mayweather, where would you put him in?
Who?
All right, let me ask you a question. If you don't respect Muhammad Ali, how can I respect you?
that he would be willing to face him. Jones's requirement is intended to compel Mayweather to leave his comfort zone and enter a respectable fight. However, do you believe Mayweather will permit a formal bout to take place at some point? For more updates, subscribe and leave a comment below.